first question that came in is, as a new business, where do I start when trying to identify my target audience and conducting proper market research?
Well, obviously, as far as if you're brand new and you don't really have a lot of history with doing business or whatever, you're kind of, you might have to rely on maybe other people, in the industry reps, people like that can give you some indication. Once you've been in business for a little while, you'll start to be able to establish your own, demographic, like who's doing business with you and things like that. There's also ways to do what we would call keyword research. So if you're going to do any SEO on a website or you're going to do any Google AdWords, you're going to want to optimize that SEO and optimize your Google AdWords campaigns for the words that people are actually searching for in your category, in your industry category. So there's ways you could do keyword research. There's a couple free tools and some paid tools as well. But, a good example, we do work with a lot of people in the window film industry. And I often use this example because in the window film industry, we often refer to the product that is used to put window film on a home to save energy, reduce glare, reduce fading as residential window film. Well, the problem is if you use that for SEO or you use that for Google AdWords, the problem with that is almost no consumers are actually searching for the product utilizing those words. They're looking for things like home window tint or heat reducing window tint or things like that. So, you really have to understand what people. If you think about anything, keyword research, anything like that, you have to put yourself in the position of what is somebody when they sit down in front of their computer or pull their phone out, what are they actually searching for? And then you optimize your website and you optimize your Google AdWords or anything else for those keywords, for those things that people are looking for. So I'm not sure if I answered the question completely or not. Where do I start to identify my target audience and conduct proper market research? I think, again, if you're new to the industry, if you're completely new to the industry and you don't really know where to start, you might want to lean on some people like hopefully you have a good rep for the company whose products you're buying or things like that can help you get started. You have to sort of do it a little bit in your area, find out the places. The reason I said once you've been in business for a while, because if you're using an app that tracks it like a TintWiz or something like that, you can actually start to figure out where your customers are coming from by zip code, things like that, do some research. Because if you just do all your marketing based on a random 15-mile radius, that might hit the areas you're looking for, but you may also be hitting 50% of that radius might be areas that are not going to be doing business with you or are not good candidates to do business with you. So you really wanted to get the most out of your dollars, make sure you're just showing your ads or just optimizing your site or your Google business page for the areas that are most relevant and most likely to potentially convert into business for you.
Yeah, I think those are good tools. What I kind of thought when I was kind of going through, I looked at TikTok and Instagram to kind of see what other people were saying. And one of the things I noticed was kind of creating a customer profile. I think you kind of described this, but kind of creating this ideal customer and figuring out what they would be, whether it's demographic wise, financially, and kind of get an idea of the person that you would kind of want to target. I think that at least for me, if you have no idea, like who would you, on a very broad macro sense, like who would you kind of be able to target and pull in?
Yeah.
Or who would need this service, or what kind of value would they benefit from having you as a customer or as them as a customer? So I think that's kind of at least the starting block that I was kind of thinking of, like, who is your customer? When I started a business, a smaller business that may not know exactly everything about the intricacies of marketing or just social media in general, and what their budget might be, and kind of break down a few different things of like, okay, this person might fit what I kind of want. And obviously that's kind of a broad general sense of like looking for your target market versus obviously I went out and I was hitting the pavement too, going door to door, because you got to do everything when you're a new business, and kind of handing out a card or a flyer or whatever it might be to kind of get that brand awareness, which could be something to think about too. And so people need to know that you're in business. And so whether it's you're using social media, you create a social media page or whatever it might be, or an email blast, or if you're going to do phone calls and kind of hit businesses or whoever your target would be, whether that's another thing too to think about, is what you provide something that could target a specific person, or would it be a business that might benefit better from you as well? So kind of figuring out what that is kind of key to everything as well.
I mean, I think what you said, I mean, to use marketing speak, you might use like a word like avatar, like, build an avatar of your perfect customer, like where do they live? What is their income? And then you figure out a way, because that's going to depend on what platforms you use. Again, if your avatar or your target is 16 to 24, TikTok may very well be a great, even Snapchat still is being used, might be a very real place where you can go after that. But if somebody's 45 and a homeowner and that's your target demo, I still would say Facebook and Instagram is a really good place to go. So you really have to, you have to define what your typical customer is going to look like, because everything else is going to flow from that. And I think, even the type of copy you use in your text, would you use kind of slangy type copy that people in a certain demo might be familiar with, and it's going to feel native to them and they're going to feel very comfortable with your company? Or is your client going to be a little bit more formalized, and if you use a little bit too much slang, it may actually turn them off? So it really dictates everything about what you're going to do with your marketing.